Hi, everybody. Wednesday, November campus Zoom. Nice to see so many people still hanging in there. Appreciate it. The agenda has been uploaded, and if you don't have it, I think I can put it in the chat unless somebody already has, but there it is. Thank you, Jamie, for recording also. We have an agenda. You can take a look at it and follow along. We do have some announcements from folks, and then we'll get into the updates from my office. If I can move my chair and sit down. Okay, so Kara, excellent work on the dashboards and the strategic planning. So please do share.
Sure, just in time. So sorry, y'all. I just got in. So what I'm going to do is I've been working feverishly on the wellness survey dashboard. So we'll go through that today. But what I'm doing right now is just getting into my Tableau Public. So I put links to the dashboards, and I hope you have questions for me because I love questions. It means that you're paying attention and using what I've created. Okay. And then, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll start, I think I said I'll start with the wellness survey. So we'll go there. Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin by sharing my screen. So you might remember that back at Convocation, I had asked folks to participate in the survey to let us know kind of where their mindset was, where their health was, well-being, kind of thinking through community, campus issues, all of that sort of thing. And thank you for the 76 folks who did participate. So mahalo nui for that. And I did check with HR just to make sure that we were aligned with the campus makeup, and we're all good at that way. So I will address anything in the chat once I'm done screen sharing and chatting through this. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, and thank you for waiting. So you can see here that I kind of already talked about the background. You can see, so Sean Kiabu and I, we worked through kind of thinking through the analyst takeaways. Now I do want to refine this a little bit. So I'm going to show you the graphs first, and then we'll talk. And I'm sorry, this is the first time everybody is seeing it. So I didn't give anyone, kind of a time to process what's here, what have you. So it's just going to be kind of a first run today. Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so thinking of what is the college doing really to support our well-being, and this kind of tied into some of the work that Sean and I did today to look through and see how many messages are coming out that are really about the issues that folks care about or where there are concerns. So I'm going to jump around a bit. So we looked at kind of concerns around the campus, and this was on these were categories that I had created, thinking all the way ranging from these wellness areas like maintaining mental health, all the way to connecting with colleagues. So that is what you would have seen if you took the survey. You had a scale that was kind of looking at anywhere from not at all concerned to extremely concerned. So the issues that we're struggling with, employees are struggling with, that survey takers said, is kind of around these ideas of maintaining mental health, maintaining physical health, ensuring that folks can manage work responsibilities and tasks. And I think not only is that perhaps this idea of leadership issues, but also resourcing that came up over and over again. And then feeling supported by campus leadership. The household issues were next. And then I think we already know this, that we really strive to do an excellent job building community. And that's where folks feel quite supported, and that's aligned with the environment that's been created, right? So that's kind of the concern. You can use the hover tool, of course, to always see more. So you'll see here kind of the category, that scale option, how many folks answered that way, and then what percentage that is across the board. And I think maybe 75, sometimes 75 people answered rather than 76. And Sean K, are you on the line?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, if you can just kind of, I know we just did kind of a quick and dirty today to look at kind of communications coming through. So can you say like what we counted, and we'll go back and do a more thorough analysis, but what we had discussed, do you have those numbers handy?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
going back in my email, like, with all the daily updates and stuff that we all get through email, if you sign up for to receive them, in the month of October, I counted, I think it was 8 messages as it relates to I guess um community, whether it be, some sort of like fun activity or, meet and greet or whatever. I counted one one email as it pertains to the health and wellness issues that Kara's mentioned on her slide there. Um, one email as it relates to household issues, and then I counted 2, 4, 6 either emails or announce messages from either admin or OG services about various campus related issues that we all need to be aware of that demonstrate sort of leadership issues that we need to be aware of.
Thank you for that, Sean. And we can continue, we'll do further analysis, but
Right.
so we're just kind of thinking about where the concerns are for the campus, for the folks who took the time to take the survey, and then seeing what we're doing or where we can see that reflected in the actions we're taking. This is great. I'm going to go back. I really want to celebrate this a little bit more. So it's kind of where we're finding our sources of strength and resilience. And I think that, it's always about the people. So that was a huge factor here, was the people. And then thinking of positive mindset also. And something I missed that I think is a huge aspect that came through in the open-ended was faith, and having that, so kind of that spiritual wellness component, and did not have that in these concerns, but it did really reflect here. So you can go ahead and you can definitely hover over and see all of these wonderful, beautiful comments that people have said about where they're finding their supports. And same too, so of course, with that, we also have issues around the issues where we need more support from a college. So you can use a filtering system here. Of course, it's not working, so because I'm here and live, so I will fix this. But what you're going to be able to do is you will be able to click. So you can click resourcing, and then you'll see all the green bubbles will pop up, and then you'll see what kind of information, what folks said about resourcing in particular, right? Like, hey, the little things like that food, we know that's something we've talked about, and there's quite a bit here. So if you feel uncomfortable, or you thought, oh, Kara, I didn't know that this is going into this dashboard, you can reach out to me directly, and I will remove anything that makes, that you don't want to share out. And it's not all like suggestions for change, but really also to continue some of the great work we're already doing, like feeling supported in our teleworking. Okay, so those are some of the items with this, with the wellness survey. I'm going to take a look at my chat here. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for the link. Yep, for sharing the link there. Any questions right now on the wellness survey? And I know it's fresh, hot off the press. Like, I was working on it 12:58. Okay, got to get it in here. So I want to go back and refine it a little bit and be more thoughtful too with our analysis. And mahalo, Sean, Sean, for really thinking through, like, how can we make this more tangible with what folks are saying, with feeling like they're getting the support they need down here with especially I would say, this idea of managing the work responsibilities and tasks and feeling supported. Yep, great question. So the actions, that's one suggestion that I had, Jamie, and then we'll turn it over to folks who just saw this for the first time. I've been living in this space for a while. Is I know that Leeward is putting thriving employees into their strategic planning. So I think that emphasizing some of this with employee wellness, I think is one step to help us then take multiple action steps based on just being more aware of our mental and physical health. And I know Brooke sent something out, so I don't know, Brooke, if you're on today and can talk a little bit about your fantastic work in this area. And then also, of course, leadership is thinking through this, I think, with strategic planning, but I'll be quiet and take a breath and turn it over to others.
Other questions or comments for Kara or Sean on the survey?
Kara, this is Carol Hoshko. So does the system does a wellness survey as well, correct? And so do they? And then if so, how does our feedback compare with what the systems might be?
Well, that's a really great question, Carol. So what I know of is I know we've done the basic needs survey for the students, and I know that some of the, like I know UPA has a survey right now, but that's more geared towards leadership. So I'm not sure, and maybe my fellow analyst is on the line. So I don't remember seeing this wellness survey, but if you have it or seen it, let me know. But I don't think.
Okay, I
know
was
when-
just wondering if there
Okay.
was.
Because I know another reason I came back to this, and a lot of this is similar language to what we use with staff and faculty surveys right at the start of the pandemic. So seeing too, what's going, and I can incorporate that into this, but how has the experience of employees changed throughout the last 2 years, and really, I think we can see that we're still struggling with our health mentally, physically. How do we stay strong and get through? So I think that's a great question for us to think about. And I hope that this comes up. So this is a little bit of a segue, but I think so the executive leadership team is meeting to talk through kind of these strategic themes. So hopefully this will emerge or come out in those conversations. Coming back to what Jamie had said here in the chat about actions. Anyone want to add any other actions before I move on?
Yeah, I think the best, well, not the best way, but certainly one way
Mm.
to use the data is to weave it into the strategic plan.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think for the way that I want to approach the strategic plan and work through each of our units and departments is to make sure that all of us has an implementation plan that derives from the strategic plan. Because I think too often in the past, we've had a strategic plan that is a beautiful plan that nobody looks at once it's done to see how well we're moving on the strategic plan. So I really want to make sure that this time, when we develop our strategic plan, that each unit and each office and each department has an annual implementation plan to say, how will these strategic goals be addressed in our department, including what we integrate into from this wellness survey. I know that lots of departments are working very hard to make connections across the departments. And so those are the actions that I think we will need to take at all the levels of the college. So I think integrating this into the strategic plan will be one way to do that. Thanks, Kara.
All right, thank you so much. So speaking of strategic plans, there's also there was the system-wide strategic plan dashboard that created, and you can see I borrowed a lot of these techniques for the one I just showed. So were there any questions? So I did have this link in the agenda, and this is based on the town hall and online feedback that we did through the Considerate board. So thank you again, that's wrapped up now. So I think last month we were just still in the middle of it, but now we kind of went through. I think the big takeaway here is that just that folks were in alignment with what the system had generated for the different objectives, which is what they're kind of calling their goals and the imperatives here. And, you know, I think they've already changed since I had this, but, you know, those ideas of thinking around student success, Kuleana to Hawaiians and Hawaii workforce, and then the diversification of the economy focused on innovation and research. You can definitely take a look. I'll be online for the rest of the meeting in case you have questions. There's nothing in, you know, very similar kinds of items. These themes you can see emerge. So thinking what we're thinking about the system level is very, I think, similar to what the conversations we're having at our college. Okay. And then I think the last update was just this. Oh, two more. Okay, so for this, for summer and fall, I just updated this yesterday. All those W's now, no one can withdraw anymore with that W. So this is going to be what it is, and definitely take a look. I did add this attributes tab. I think it was Mahalo Sean Ford for this idea of, so he could see like, okay, what's going on for these attributes across the different courses, and also keeping in mind that for our students who prefer face-to-face or online, that they have those options to see modality here as well. So you can play with that. And then finally, Fast Facts has been updated. And this one is really near and dear to me. So mahalo Tony Silva for this idea of adding the campus, home campus. So you can now see that trend over 5 years. By fall, if you click here, you can go by spring, and then get those stats for spring semester 5-year trends. Now, something else I added to help you all is the actual numbers. So not just percentages here, but now you can see by semester how many of each of these different categories we have. And then I cleaned this up a little bit, but you still get your 5-year trends by number here, as well as percentage by major and program. So I think those are the big differences for the updates for fall. So thank you for those who are using this. I hope it's coming in helpful for you if you're working on grants or just wanting a little bit of information on how many are student demographics. Please share this also with students. They might find it interesting, and all are in the agenda. Okay, thank you so much for letting me share all of the great things that we're doing on campus and can see in these different presentations.
Kara, could I,
Mhm.
it's just my ignorance, but
No.
is there some place where you're showing us the links to all of your excellent and very cool dashboards? Is there somewhere where we could go and because I say, oh, Kara, I know you made a dashboard on this, but I don't know where it is.
Right, and you're like, now I'm gonna have to go look through IRAPO and try to figure out these tables. And I
Yes,
just need
yes.
to know how many students we have. Yeah, so I can definitely do better. I'm in talks right now. Poor CELT, I know everyone, like we know everyone's busy, but they're working on getting this embedded on our website somewhere, the Fast Facts. And then I should just maybe put the link to my Tableau homepage. I should put that on the OFI site. But oh, thank you, Yoshin. Oh, okay. So Yoshin said, yes, you can subscribe to my dashboards too.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think I probably just put the same link that Yo already had in there. So
yeah,
thank you. But yes, that might be the easiest. So
gotta bookmark that one.
yes, I think that, yeah. And then I could do a better job to making sure those end up on our OFI site, especially for accreditation, which I think is our next topic. So,
Mhm. One of the next ones for sure.
okay.
Great, thank you. And there's so many good ones. I just clicked on it. Oh, every day a new one. Almost, not quite. All right, other questions for Kara? Thanks so much for the ready access. This is what we've wanted for forever, is, you know, from our own computers to be able to do this work with filters and all those opportunities. So thank you. Other announcements, Carol, there's an upcoming webinar
Yes, thank you, Chancellor. The Office of Community and Continuing Education is working in collaboration with Serene. And our upcoming Kaia'ulu webinar is called the Kapuna Collective Older Adults and Community Resilience. During the pandemic, a group of, or a network of Kapuna serving organizations came together called the Kapuna Collective, and they mobilized so that they could provide really needed support, meals, food boxes, vaccine outreach, etc., to help seniors. Well, they are going to come together during this webinar to talk about lessons learned, what they did, and some future strategies and opportunities to empower older adults. And for those of you who are familiar with our area around here, we have a lot of seniors living in Kaimuki. So if you want to find out more about what happened and what plans are for the future, please join us for the webinar on Thursday, November 10th from 6 to 7:30. This is an online event, and I will put the registration link in the chat for you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Questions for Carol? All right, Noel, some updates on spring registration.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, just I sent an announcement to the student body. Spring registration is starting on Monday already. And then hopefully we'll get some more information out. But just if you could send a reminder to your students to register for classes, as those numbers help out a lot, helps out the department chairs in terms of determining the number of sections. But yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. I know every semester goes by faster and faster, but we are at that time again where we are registering for spring. But I will send more information about that if you want it, but just know that the messages has been going out already on spring registration.
Okay. Questions for Noel? Okay. Then next on the agenda is a note from HIC.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much, Chancellor, for the time. Just a couple of things on the horizon. I know we've been receiving some messages and emails directly to the office regarding spring 2023 and SEVIS guidance. So we do still have the approvals for what we will call continuing students. So if a student in SEVIS, at least not returning student, but is continuously registered from this semester into the spring 2023 semester, we still have approval to allow that individual to register for all courses online. The 12 credits can be entirely online. So that's the first thing. We do anticipate hearing more guidance because we already know that University of Manoa campus is already operating to pre-COVID guidelines, 9 credits in person, 3 credits online type of class options. Certainly they have more classes available in person or hybrid, and that's why they're able to do that. We're not sure how long we will be able to request these extensions. And so currently we've been given approvals through the end of spring, so up until May. So we're going to learn more sometime in the spring about summer and fall 2023. That being said, and thank you to the great work that Kara and her team has done, but in looking at the enrollment by modality section, it has face-to-face classes at 15% and both at 24%. And I think for 2 things, for our recruitment efforts or marketing efforts, if we want to increase the international student enrollment on the campus, to globalize the campus, whatever it might be, all of those things, the kids want to come down here. We have the interest, but we need the in-person classes in order to appeal to both the parents and the students. It's been a bit challenging. I mean, certainly for everyone over this time period with COVID. But as we're coming hopefully out in the back end of this, we're hearing similar types of requests that we heard earlier on. The student and the parents actually don't want the kids to come down here, or would prefer the kids not come down here and be online taking classes from home. They want to be in the classrooms and they want to be in person, or at least hybrid in some capacity. And certainly that will help our marketing efforts. And of course, the bigger concern is whether or not SEVIS is going to continue this request for us for extensions to remain on the existing guidelines that, continuing students be fully enrolled online. Most of our colleagues that we're aware of across the US have long been back in person. And so I suspect that, I'm not sure when, but I suspect that we're going to hear that this is going to come to an end, and it's likely not that far out. Takashi has been meeting, he's our PDSO, of course, and he's our liaison with SEVIS. He's been in close contact with contacts there to make sure that they know the situation here. So we have been trying to keep ahead of that, just to explain them why we're requesting this justification and this extension. But I think it's going to come to a point where we're going to need to make a decision as a campus whether or not we want to have that international student population and bring them in those numbers, and then have sufficient courses offered in person, because it will, I'm quite sure it's going to move in that direction. Everyone else is kind of going back in that direction. So just some heads up. For spring, we're okay with the registration. We've already notified the students and we're already letting them know they can be fully enrolled online, 12 credits. It's just the newly admitted kids for spring 23. They need to take 3 credits in person or hybrid, and then the 9 credits can be online. So for spring, we're okay. But as we move past, or as we move closer to summer fall registration, we're going to need to keep that in mind, and we will of course provide updates as we learn more.
Hybrid counts as face-to-face, yeah?
Yes, they have not. We've been seeing some new, in the past, hybrid never really showed up in anything. Now we're beginning to see some occurrences of that word hybrid, but right now the definition still falls as hybrid is in person. And for our purpose at Honda, because we're not policing these things, we're only providing information, heaven forbid we get audited, but the justification for us is that we need to show in the schedule of classes that it is an hybrid class or an in-person class there. And that would be the means by which we would be able to justify why we're allowing those kids to, be offer on campus. Of course, for marketing purposes, the more frequently and in a hybrid class meets in person, the more desirable. I know it doesn't state that. So there's some sticky areas between our marketing attempt, what we're sharing and marketing, but not exactly knowing how many times a hybrid class will meet in any given semester, since it varies from instructor to instructor.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. Questions
you.
for Sean?
I have a question, Candy.
Yes.
So they do not need the hybrid at this point for spring, just clarifying, right? For any newly admitted students, not returning, but newly admitted for spring 23, they must be enrolled in 3 credits, either hybrid or in person. And then the remaining 9 credits of the 12 mandatory credits they must take, those 9 credits can be online. So to answer your question, we would need some courses minimally that would hopefully be applicable towards their degree. But the demand would be far less. Once the guidelines revert to pre-COVID guidelines, then we would need a large number of in-person or hybrid classes. But for spring, we're probably okay, because typically students would want to register in that first semester courses that don't require, I should say, a strong English proficiency. It tends to be things like, maybe things doing with your hands, ukulele, hula, art, those types of things, or English classes. And I think we have a number of those being offered. So I think in spring, the more we have, the better. I realize that the schedule's already set, but I think that that's the areas that would likely need to be registered for spring, we're probably okay.
Okay, I'm just trying to add a few more hybrids because of this in the next day.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I want to make sure. And then do you know, is it, they just want to say like that student was there, or are they trying to verify the student
Yes.
was the student that was in the course? Is
It's-
that a reasoning for them to have to be in person? You know?
Because what happened pre-COVID, because of these things that were happening, you know, with students and domestic terrorism and so forth, they put these mechanisms in place to ensure that the students were on campus attending in-person classes. And that's the nexus of that. And of course, when COVID happened, turned everything upside down, and they needed to figure out, okay, we can do everything online or you know, find something between. Now, they still have that concern. And, you know, even though we're not going to every class and checking students if they're in class and so forth, they want to know that the students are
Where
doing
they're
what
supposed to be.
doing what they're supposed to be doing, because the I-20 basically is a contract. It's a contract between the student and the federal government that says, I'm going to follow these rules. And that's why they kind of need to be on the campus. Yeah.
And
And-
would you-
And,
sorry.
and one more thing, of the 12 credits, a minimum of 6 credits must be taken on this campus, which would include that 3-credit in-person class if it's their first semester. It would need to be taken, that in-person class needs to be taken here. They can't be taking it at Windward or, you know, Leeward and so forth. The guidelines do allow us to be a little bit flexible, especially, you know, during this COVID time. So some kids have been registering for some classes, at least online at, you know, Windward or Leeward and whatnot. But 12 credits minimum. And if they're a continuing student, they can do it all online. But if they're a newly admitted student for spring, minimum 3 credits. And then a minimum of, for all students, a minimum of 6 of those credits have to be on our campus.
And since we're here, can I just ask what the policy is in spring for veterans?
Carrie's here.
So it's the same. It's one in-person course that's required to demonstrate that they're going to school in Hawaii and eligible for the Hawaii housing allowance. And that in-person class could be either in-person or hybrid. Unlike international students, that in-person class does not need to be taken at Kapi'olani, but of course, we would like them to take that course at Kapi'olani.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Candy. Thanks,
Very
Sean.
helpful.
Thank you. Just one last thing, Noel, I'm gonna probably get in touch with you regarding the health clearances and vaccinations and working with UH Manoa shortly too. So we'll need to
Okay.
connect on that one if it's okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Moving into the agenda. We had a training last week, Friday, which was well attended. Thank you very much to all those who participated. We have about 40 individuals who have signed up to take part in compiling and producing our institutional self-evaluation report, affectionately known as ICER. We also need to organize ourselves. And so those of you who came to the training will be contacted. And those of you who were not able to come to the training but have expressed interest will be contacted. And we'll also throw the net wide open for anybody who missed all of those opportunities to take part in the accreditation process. It is, if not the most important process, it certainly is one of the most important processes on the campus, because everything derives from our being accredited by a regional accreditor. We also have finalized our new ALO, and I want to take this time to thank Sunny, who was ALO and or co-chair for the last over 10 years of service in that role, those roles, which is probably a record, I would think. But going forward for this cycle, Susan Kazama will be our ALO. that is our accreditation liaison officer. So Sunny or Susan, if you want to jump in and add to this, feel free.
Thank you for those kind words, Louise. I'm in a location where I have low bandwidth, so I can't turn on my camera, but I'll still be around to help out. I think Susan Kazama will be an amazing ALO. She was chair of ACCJC for a couple of years, and she's been on a bazillion sites visits. So I'm looking forward to her working with the college, and I'm also looking forward to working with her myself. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunny. Susan, anything you want to say?
Absolutely. Sunny's been on from 2010. So it's been 12 years for her of doing this, and 2 accreditation visits already from ACCJC, 2012, 2018. I swear we all got to give her a hand, because yes, absolutely. That has been a record, and it is an amazing accomplishment for her. One of the things that we talked about at the ICER training last week was that the last self-evaluation, the ICER, was 418 pages. But going forward, the commission is requesting that all ICERs be much, much smaller. So
We'll
real
disappear
fast.
into the jellyfish.
Yep. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this is our ICER, 400 something pages. And the standard right now is 120. Okay, so much, much tinier. So for those of you that are fearful about coming on, and there will be a role for everybody to play. It's an open call for everybody, so please join. We are working on finalizing the ICER chairs, the co-chairs at this time. So that announcement is coming shortly.
Thank you. Any accreditation related questions from folks on the call?
I have one.
Yep.
Okay, because the system as well as Kapiolani now have been working on more articulation agreements between continuing education and credit. I'm wondering whether continuing ed should be paying much more attention to accreditation requirements, and do you expect that there will be closer scrutiny on the continuing ed work now?
I think
Because-
continuing ed has always been part of the standards. It's not going to change. I don't know that there will be more scrutiny on it than before, but it has always been part of the review. So yes, definitely continuing ed folks need to be involved and need to be in standard 2.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, moving on, mission statement. So we have done months and months of talking and revising on the mission statement. The last effort was through the CAC. I was given some suggestions for changes, which I have integrated, and I've sent it forward now to the AGOs for a final look. And in the meantime, between the time that I sent it to the AGOs, there was feedback already. So it's in the agenda, and I'll put it here. This is the latest version of the what am I trying to say? Mission statement. So please do connect with your AGO and have your thoughts expressed. If there's anything that you want to make sure we consider. I don't want to go around the circle too many more times. I'm hoping that this is the last go round because we've had such a lot of feedback on it. So if you have other concerns, please do connect with your AGOs. Any thoughts, comments, anything?
I have a thought, Louise.
No.
Sorry about that. No, I just saw that we were voting on this at the CAC.
process, we'll have it to the AGOs first and then we'll bring it back.
Okay, so there's not a vote next week on this?
Let me look. No, maybe, I can't remember.
I could have swore I saw a vote, so I
No,
just
it's
want to make
possible.
sure that, you know, the faculty have the chance to see this, and I will copy it right now for my
Okay.
department, you know, to see.
Yes,
But it said vote on it, but then I didn't see it, but maybe I didn't look close
no,
enough.
I think you're right, Candy. I think I put it down for a vote at the CAC meeting on November 10th. I sent this to the AG, this is like the second time to the AGOs, so this went out to the AGOs maybe Monday, and I got this
Right.
last minute feedback yesterday, sent it back out to AGOs. So they do have it. And it's not much different from what was there the last time, so I was not expecting to see a whole lot of feedback, but I'm hopeful that the AGOs will have an opportunity just to send it out real quick.
Yeah, well, I hope that the AGOs, and particularly my AGO, Faculty Senate, would send it to the departments to get their feedback. That would be
Right.
wonderful. Thank you.
Sure, I'm sure. Okay, thank you. Next is our Kodak moment, and we are changing it for one last time. So it's gone from early in the morning on Wednesday, the 16th, to late in the afternoon on Wednesday, the 16th, and now it's late in the afternoon on Thursday, the 17th. We found out, of course, after we published it, that the students were scheduling games on the Great Lawn at the same time that we were going to try to take a picture. So not a good idea. So that we moved it to Thursday, the 17th, gathering in front of the Compass at 4:15, lining up, and it will not be a drone picture. It will be taken from a camera on the ground on a ladder to make sure we get all the people there. So I've asked the supervisors to consider allowing employees who wish to be part of the picture to leave their jobs at 4:15 that day so they can be in the picture. Anything else to ask about that? Okay. Next is the agenda item about Giving Tuesday. We had Giving Tuesday last year. We focused it on our pantry, our food pantry, Pohukaina food pantry, because we know that students can't learn if they're hungry. And so we tried very hard to help them, and we actually raised $10,000 last year. It's the best giving campaign in 24 hours. We were like way up there in the UH system in terms of how much money we raised. And so we are going to again focus on the food pantry because the situation exists still yet. I'm going to ask Lavashay, who is part of our Basic Needs Committee. She's actually the convener and chair of the Basic Needs Committee, to say a little bit more about what we are looking for. Go, Lavashay.
Great, thank you, Louise. So thank you to everyone who contributed last year. We did earn over $10,000. Our goal this year is to get at least that amount, but hopefully a little bit more. We spend almost $10,000 a year to stock the pantry. What we'd like to do this next year. So last year you helped us purchase refrigeration for fresh food. This year we'd like to continue to offer, or actually increase the amount of toiletries and hygiene products that we're able to provide. So right now we purchase our food from the Hawaii Food Bank for the most part. It's really cheap. It's 18 cents a pound. We load up the culinary van. Thank you, Culinary, twice a month with about 3,000 pounds of food. But what we'd like to do is be able to purchase those hygiene products that are actually really expensive, that students also need as well. And so that's the goal for this year. As far as Pohukaina, last year, since we opened in January of 2020, we had a brief shutdown when we were in lockdown during the pandemic, but we didn't stop giving out food. We did it through drive-through in those times where we couldn't have people on campus. And we are open again in person every Thursday from 2 to 5. And we have served since opening 3,471 households, which is almost 9,500 adults. And that doesn't include the children and their families. So you have helped a lot of not only KCC students and UH students, but as the community as well. And if you've seen our food distributions, all of that, they're well attended. And even though, you know, we're coming out of the pandemic, the need is really, really high still. If you look at recent surveys that they've done on our students, we think at least 38% of our students are experiencing food insecurity in the last 30 days. So we don't want them to skip meals. We want them to have that nourishment that they need to do well in their studies. So any help is greatly appreciated. And we hope to have a student testimonial up, and just be on the lookout for more information about how you can help us on Giving Tuesday.
Lavashay, could you put the link to that website in the chat for folks?
The Basic Needs website?
Or the one that you were just looking at, or is that
It's-
live?
We're still populating it with our student who wants to give a testimonial to share how
Okay.
it's helped him.
Okay,
Mark your calendars, please. I think we forgot to say Giving Tuesday is November 29th.
right.
And in this 24-hour period is what we're shooting for here.
Right. And Lavashay said 10,000 is our basic goal. We're trying to shoot for more. And so I'm going to throw down a challenge to all of you. Make a gift and I'll match it up to $2,000. So your dollar will bring another dollar.
Woo! Thank
So-
you, Chancellor.
November 29th, put it on your calendars. Be on the lookout for the announcements that will be coming about how to give. It's one day where we can all make a difference, no matter how big or small you put in. It all will help. Just remember, remember what Lavashay just said, 18 cents a pound for food. So every time you give 18 cents, you're allowing the food pantry to be able to buy a pound of food. And I don't know if you go to the distributions, but I've seen cars, many cars who come. So people do need. Please give on November 29th.
Yeah, and we're not alone. We have donors who are interested to help us along, but the more that we can do on our end helps to energize them as well. So thank you, Dr. Louise.
I'm going to match, Rich is asking, is it up to $2,000 total from you or up to $2,000 per donor? I'm matching $2,000. I don't know about any other donors. You want to match too, Rich? We can all have a match, but mine is going to be for 2,000.
Oh, so if I don't, so you're matching other people's donations up to 2,000? Is that what?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so if I donate, 100, then that just goes towards the 2,000 that you're gonna.
Yes,
match.
I'll match your 100.
Okay, all right.
So
will
it'll
do.
double your giving up to 2,000. So if we raise 2,000, Chancellor Pagata will give us 2,000. And I'm in talks with others as well, but please, we've got to do our part so that they can help leverage what we're doing. So
All right, I'll think about it.
Okay, November 29th.
thank you, Rich.
All right, last item on the agenda is Kauai, and I don't know how many of you know, but anybody who's got a friend or a colleague on Kauai heard what happened yesterday. And if you don't know, I will give you a synopsis. Vice President LaCroix had a Zoom meeting with the folks on Kauai yesterday and announced that there would be a restructuring of Kauai. No one was prepared for that. No, there were no details about that. the folks on Kauai were anticipating hearing about their interim chancellor because Chancellor Daisy is retiring in December as well, but the message was not about the interim. It was about some restructuring. And there were no details given and no one was prepared for that. And so if your colleagues are asking all kinds of questions and they're sending stuff to you, please know that I have no additional information. I know not more than what was shared at that meeting. So it does have implications for us because other things that were mentioned were that there was restructuring going on other places at the 4 years, not our campus. But it was also shared that no decision had been made on the chancellors for Honolulu or Kapi'olani. And if your colleagues are emailing you saying what's going on, you can say, I don't know, because I don't know either. Question.
Oh, sorry, is there somewhere where is anything documented or something for us to reference about what's going on, or, okay.
Not that I'm aware of. It's just very, I mean, your colleagues on Kauai are feeling like upside down. That there won't be a new chancellor for Kauai. I'm not sure what it's implying, in fact. There was, I think it was said that the chancellor from Maui would oversee Kauai, which was a surprise.
Do you know what the timeline is for the announcement for our chancellor?
My speculation, and all I'm going on, is what I expected would happen, which is January installation of a new chancellor. The appointment must appear on the board agenda in November because there's no December board meeting. The board meeting is on November 18th. The agenda for the board meeting comes on the 11th. It should be posted on that agenda on the 11th, which is next week, Friday. That's what I would think would happen if it needs to happen by January. Yeah, Darsh is correct. So we are not in any kind of discussions about restructuring. That's completely new to me. It's not been anything that anybody has talked to me about. So that's not our issue. But please be considerate of your Kauai colleagues.
So does that mean some sort of retrenchment could occur?
I have no idea. I do
Okay.
not know. And I'm sure that the Kauai faculty are in contact with everybody they need to be talking to if they feel that that's an issue. But nothing has been said to me. I just want you to be aware. This is your situational awareness and to have compassion for those who might be feeling upside down right now. And on that happy note, November 29th is Giving Tuesday. November 17th is the Kodak moment. And be watching out for new announcements about accreditation so you can join in and have the fun that it is to do accreditation together. Okay. All righty, everybody, you can unmute and say goodbye.
Wait, can I make one more announcement?
Denise, go.
Yeah, so we're having the Bloodmobile back on the KCC campus on November 16th from 9 to 3. Please register. There's signage all over the campus with QR coding that'll take you directly to the KCC scheduling list where you can sign up for a slot. Please come and join us. We need your blood.
You missed out on Halloween. Should have been that day.
Well, you may have seen Jose, our health pathway leader, walking around as a
Yes.
vampire yesterday.
I did.
sharing the information about the need for blood.
Yes, he was quite impressive. Okay. Oh, wait, there's a question. We can find out our blood type by donating blood. Yes. It's one of the rewards. As well as a cookie. Do they still give cookies?
Yes, you will get a cookie and a juice if you're good.
Okay. They haven't been wanting my blood. I test positive for hepatitis, so they don't like that. Have they changed the rules on that?
Well, yeah, they're gonna test your blood to make sure it's good before they take it.
Yeah,
So
but they haven't
you may
ordered
learn, yeah, well, you may learn things about your blood that you didn't know. So come on down and check it out. The least you can do is find out something about your blood that you didn't know, or maybe you already
Exactly.
knew and just confirming it, you know?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Denise, for that. Lots of things to do in November. Bye, everybody. Unmute, say goodbye. Bye.
Hi.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye.
Hi.
Bye.
Yo.